So now we'll talk about future tasks and callables. So we already learned about runnables. They are used for creating threads, and a thread is a you can use a thread to run a computation which can run parallel with your main computation. Okay. So what is callables? First of all, when we already had runnable, what was the need of callable? Let's talk about that. So the runnable, as you already know, has the run method, public void run. So whatever you give inside this run method, it will run the new thread. Okay. So can you think about a disadvantage that the run method has? A simple disadvantage is it doesn't return anything. Okay, so this is a simple disadvantage of the run method. Okay, to mitigate this disadvantage, a new interface was introduced. Just like callable, it is runnable. Just like runnable, it is called callable. Okay, so this callable had a public v call method. Okay, now what is v? You would ask. V is generics. If you have don't know about or forgotten about generics, go back to the generics chapter and revise. But basically, v can be anything. We can be what you want v to be defined as. Okay, so this is the complete signature. It is like public interface callable v. This is the same v that is here. So whenever you implement the callable interface, you have to override the call method. Okay, as when you overrode the runnable interface, you had to override the runnable method, the run method. So the difference is it can return something, whereas the runnable cannot return anything. Okay, another point of difference is here it can also throw exception. Okay, so it can return something, it can also throw something. Here in this piece of code, if any exception occurs, it will not be propagated to your main thread. But here you can at least get which exception has been thrown by the another thread which is running this call method, and then maybe it can be propagated to your calling thread as well. You can stop the execution as well, you can handle it as well, whatever you want. But yeah, and this is the benefit you get. So this is the callable interface. Now let's understand one more thing, which is future task. Okay, future task represents a piece of computation whose result is not yet determined but will be determined in the future. Okay, so it's like when you take a loan from a bank. Suppose you want 1 million loan, you don't have that money right now. You show bank your salary slip that I earn this much, so in 20 years time I will be able to collect 1 million or more than 1 million. I will pay you back, so you please give me 1 million right now because I want to buy a house. Okay, so it is something like that this computation will complete in the future and the result will get back. So we are referring to the result which is not available right now, but we are sure that it will be available in some time in the future. But we want to use that result right now, refer it, read its value or call a method on it. But yeah, it is not ready right now. Okay, it will be ready in the future, but we are referring it right now to use in our further programming logic. Okay, so this is this is future, and this future task, the computation which will complete in future is future task, and the result is the future. Okay, so the result is a future. Okay, so it is a piece of computation whose result will be available in the future. It is not available right now. So a future task can take a runnable also or a callable as well. Runnable we learned in the previous chapter, and callable we learned here. It is similar to runnable, but it has few differences. The two major differences are it can return something and it can throw something, which the run doesn't have. So whenever you want to use the result of the future task, you can call the get method. If you want to stop the processing of the future task another thread, you can call cancel. In threads, if you start a thread, you cannot in your main thread from which you called started a new thread, you cannot cancel that thread. It has started, now it is in its own power. If it wants, it can cancel itself, but you cannot cancel it. Okay. But in future task, if you wrap your runnable or callable in future task, then you can cancel it. Okay. And you can also check whether it is completed or not, is done. Okay. So using this, you can check whether that piece of computer, callable, runnable, whatever, whether it is completed or not. Let's see some code example for this. Okay. So this is our future task example. You see, earlier we created many runnables or many new threads using this arrow function or using this expression, anonymous arrow functions. But now we are creating callables. You see here example, in this previous example, we used to create new thread. Okay. We also created runnable here. So similar to the way that we created a new thread here what we are doing in this future task example, we're creating a callable. Okay. So just by creating, it doesn't run anything until you execute it. So it is just creating an object here, and it is anonymously overriding the call method here. Okay. So you can, there are other formats of overriding the call method as well. Yeah, but this is, most simplest way. So what we are doing in this call, this is also the call method. Basically, you can do like this, new callable, and whatever you have written here, you can put it inside here as well. So this might be simpler for you to understand. Again, we are creating a callable object. We are creating a callable object. We are overriding the call method here. Okay. So we have just written 3 lines, but I wanted to signify that either we use this format or we use the previous format, which was this one. If I comment it out and I uncomment this one, it is, both of them are absolutely the same. You have to check functional interface as well, because we are representing using the concept of functional interface as well. Here you can see this is a functional interface, and we already learned that we can represent a lambda expression using a functional interface. Okay. So more or less, whatever format we used, we are overriding the call method here. Okay. So in this call method, we are simply just doing a print on the console. Then we are doing a sleep just to simulate some extra processing, and then returning a number. Because it is integer, that is why we have to return integer. You cannot return string. You'll get compilation error. You have to return an integer. Okay. Then we are wrapping this callable in a future task. So this is a general way how we execute a callable. Okay. So whenever you have to execute a callable, you wrap it in a future task and then you execute it. Okay. You can wrap it in a, you need to wrap it in a future task. Okay. And then you need to execute this future thread in a new thread. Okay. So you have this generics, whatever integer you have given here, you need to give the same generic definition here as well in the future task. And then you are wrapping this future task in a thread object and starting the thread. Okay. So this will basically, when you call start in thread, it used to call the, in runnable, it is called the run method. Here it will call this call method. Okay. So here in the, at line number 25 in this block, we will test it. So earlier, whenever we were doing a thread example, we used to do thread.join, so that this thread completes first and then the main thread completes, so that we can print or see whatever we want to see. In this case, you do a get. So this also, blocks this line number 26 will block the execution of this main thread, the main thread which is executing the main method. And first it will execute the thread which is executing this callable call method. It will do the print and it will then return. And once we get the return, then only it will allow this main thread to proceed. Okay. And then at line number 27, you can get the result. It will unblock and then you can complete. Okay. So we can run it as well. So you see it has executed. Let's debug it as well. Okay. So at line number 26, I'm putting a debugger and I'm putting a debugger at line number 13. If I debug this again, You see flow has first come to line number 26. After this, when I call get, it will wait for this to complete. Then it has reached line number 13 and then it will come to line number 27. Only when this completes, this will get unblocked and then we can proceed further. So there is another example. It is also similar. We have created a callable, we have wrapped it into a future, and then we have wrapped the future in a new thread, and then we have started the thread. And using the future, we can call get, but here what we are doing is we are canceling the thread. So before it gets completed, it is waiting for 5000 milliseconds, and after 2000 milliseconds only we will cancel this. Okay, so it should not allow this return to complete, and then we have put a if block to check whether it is cancelled. If it is true, then it will go inside this. If it is not cancelled, then we can get the result because it is not cancelled. But if it is cancelled, we cannot get the result as well. Okay, so let's test this. We are putting a bigger debugger at line number 12 as well. So we are cancelling the thread. You see this has been true, that is why it has entered into this block. Okay, and if we evaluate this task and if we do get, let's see what happens. We get an exception because this thread was cancelled. You cannot do get. Okay, so because this thread was cancelled, you cannot do get. So this is how you cancel a task. This is how you can cancel a future task as well. So basically this is a next level to threads, which is callable and future task, where you can control the execution of a thread. In threads, once you start, you cannot do anything from outside. Inside the thread, if you have written any expression which is causing the thread to break, that is a different thing. But outside that thread, you cannot do anything. But if you create callables, wrap them in future task and then run it, then you can still control them from the external, from outside that thread.